region here is the Persian Gulf. And today, our topic of discussion would be India losing its footprint in Iran and the Persian Gulf. Once upon a time, the importance of Iran was so huge that Indian refineries were built in a way to specifically cater to Iranian crude oil. The crude oil imports from Iran were almost 90% of India's total imports. Today, India has stopped importing crude oil from Iran. Earlier, India used to export basmati rice, tea, sugar, medicines, etc. to Iran. But now, the exports to Iran have almost stopped. Indian merchants feel that Iran's rupee reserves are totally depleted, and that is why they have entirely stopped exporting to Iran. How did these relationships between India and Iran go upside down? India is facing one loss after the other in Iran. In 2020, it lost this Chabahar rail project. It was supposed to be constructed here between the port of Chabahar and Zahedan till the city of Zaranj. Then, recently, India lost this Farzad B oil field located in the Persian Gulf. This oil field was jointly discovered with the collaboration of ONGC Videsh of India. What really is happening? Why is India losing these projects one after the other? For this, we first need to understand India-Iran ties. Let us see the rise and fall of India-Iran ties. In the Cold War era, conventionally, our relations with Iran were mostly for oil trade. Iran fulfilled 90% of India's crude oil demand. And as I already told you, that Iran was so important for India for this oil trade that Indian refineries were built specifically to cater to just Iranian crude oil. But our relationships with Iran in this Cold War era were not beyond oil trade. Then, in the 1990s, the importance of Iran became more strategic. Through this Trehan Declaration of 2001, the beginning of strategic partnership between India and Iran started. And then this Delhi Declaration of 2003 laid down the roadmap for this Iran-Pakistan-India gas pipeline and this international North-South transport corridor. International North-South Transport Corridor is a multimodal transport corridor signed in 2000. It was signed between Iran, Russia and India as the founding members. So what did this project aim? It aims to link India and Iran via the sea route and then through Iran to the Caspian Sea. This water body here is the Caspian Sea and Iran is sandwiched between these two important sources of oil, the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf. So Iran was seen as a gateway of India to Afghanistan and the Central Asia. The Central Asian republics here are landlocked republics, but they are very important sources of hydrocarbons, LPG, and a lot of minerals which India needs. India-Iran grew security ties in their fight against the common enemy, the Taliban. But all this was not acceptable to the US. US became wary of India-Iran ties. What did it do then? It came up with a lucrative offer of a civil nuclear deal for India and it sidelined Iran. Cracks started developing between India-Iran friendship. Under US pressure, India also began diversifying its oil imports. But then, US is not a very reliable friend. US withdrew from Afghanistan and because of this, the threat from Taliban became stronger. India realized its mistake of neglecting Iran. In 2010, the relationship started coming back on track when India realized its mistake of neglecting Iran. The two countries decided to develop the Chabahar port together, and they also decided to further joint exploration of oil. In this process, this Farzad B oil field was discovered. But at the same time, the China-Iran ties grew very strong. China became very close to Iran in this process. India had to pay a heavy price. India-Iran ties at present are like this. The decision-making delays have marred the projects which were envisioned in 2010. Due to this, the excessive decision-making delays and the excessive caution with which India proceeds towards Iran, Iran has cancelled this Chabahar rail project, and also the rights of development of this Farzad B oil field have also gone to an Iranian national company, the Petropas. So India is facing one loss after the other in the Persian Gulf. How are we placed with respect to other countries in the Persian Gulf? And how were these projects important to India? These projects were very important to India. The railway line between Chabahar, Zahedan and Zaranj, and this Farzad gas pipeline also. Let us see how. This rail project was an alternate route to Afghanistan. The plan was to develop this railway line first to Zahedan and then to this bordering city of Zaranj. After that, into Afghanistan till the city of Dilaram, another railway line could be constructed by India, and India would have got an alternate route to Afghanistan by passing Pakistan. But the development rights of this railway line went away from the hands of India. This Farzad B pipeline is also, oil field is also very important to India. It is a source of 19 trillion cubic feet of oil. Now, the development rights, further development rights have gone back to Iran, and Iran has only said that it will involve India at a later stage, probably. So what are the other countries? The monetary cost of these projects is not very huge, but the diplomatic cost of losing an important ally in the West Asia is very strong. We have lost an important friend in our fight against the Taliban. Although the commercial cost is not very huge, India had only invested some $100 million initially in the discovery of this Farzad B oil field. So, how are we placed with respect to other countries in the Persian Gulf, and why is Iran so important? At present, 8 countries border the Persian Gulf. They are Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, and Iran. Now, in these 8 countries, the Saudis and Iranians are the most important. They are the two main centers of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Kingdom of Iran. Although these two countries have never actually declared a war on each other directly, but they keep fighting indirectly by supporting opposite sides in Iraq, Syria, or Yemen. This has given birth to Hezbollah in Syria, Houthi rebels in Yemen, and it has created a lot of political instability, terrorism, and Shia-Sunni rift in the region. So this is known as proxy warfare, and it has a devastating impact on these smaller countries. Now, the power tussle between these two big players is the key to understanding this West Asian region. Now, this region is also significant for the Hormuz Strait. This is the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's crude oil is transported from this narrow waterway. This country here is Iran, and this is Oman. The waterway is so narrow that it is hardly 21 miles between Oman and Iran. And although this waterway is very narrow, but it is very deep. It is so deep that oil tankers can pass easily in this region, and 20%, 1/5 of the world's crude oil is transported from this narrow waterway. Iran had threatened to close this strategic waterway. This means that not just about 19 million barrels of oil a day would stand stranded, but the oil trade of all these Persian Gulf countries, Oman, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, would be threatened. And Iran was not just giving blank threats. The threat was very real. It is not very difficult to Iran to block oil tankers passing through this narrow waterway. Now, this small move could raise oil prices worldwide, and in the tussle between US and Iran, the repercussions are felt worldwide. We see that this is the crude oil center of the world, and through this narrow waterway, crude oil is transported not just to India and Asia, but to Africa, Europe, and almost the entire world. US was very angry with Iran, and it kept threatening Iran because Iran had developed nuclear capabilities. So it had imposed a lot of sanctions on Iran, and under those sanctions, no country could import crude oil of Iran. Now, in this tussle between Iran and USA, the repercussions are felt worldwide. Now, just let us look at how are India's relations with other countries, the other power center of the Persian Gulf, the Saudi Arabia. India-Saudi Arabia relations were not very well. The governmental relations were not very good in the initial years. India, although, is home to nearly 3 million Indian expatriates. Saudi Arabia is known for its closeness to Pakistan as well as the Taliban. So traditionally, India-Saudi Arabia interacted more at the societal level than at the governmental level. India is home to 3 million, Saudi Arabia is home to 3 million Indian expatriates. But now India's relations have become strategic since this Riyadh Declaration of 2010. In the recent years, bilateral ties had acquired a security dimension, with both countries stepping up cooperation in intelligence sharing and in counter-terrorism. India now banks on Saudi Arabia for controlling the terror-related activities from Pakistan, because Saudi Arabia has a very good hold over Pakistan. Also, the custodian of the Muslim world, with the presence of these two holy Muslim sites, Makkah and Medina, Saudi Arabia is the leader of the Muslim world, and India has the third largest Muslim population. So Saudi becomes important in India's strategic calculus. Today, Saudi Arabia is the biggest crude oil supplier to India. Although Saudi Arabia has a good nexus with Pakistan also, but India is important for Saudi Arabia from an investment point of view. Also, the attractiveness of Indian market and the changed India-US ties have become the base for this new India and Saudi Arabia relations, which were not very matured earlier. A balancing approach with Southwest Asia remains crucial for India, and Iran is the key to it. How? Maintaining ties with Iran, and even as it forges a new relation with Saudi Arabia and Israel, is critical for India's balancing policy in West Asia. Saudi Arabia and Israel are both US allies. Beyond energy security, India needs to have more diverse friends other than US allies, because we all know that US is not a very reliable partner. And Beyond energy security, West Asia is important for more reasons than one. West Asia is gateway to the landlocked, energy-rich Central Asian republics. Also, about 11 million Indians work in West Asia. India is the largest recipient of foreign remittances from West Asia. From a geostrategic point of view, it is very important to counter the clout of China. Now we know that China is making continuous inroads into the region with its One Belt, One Road project. So China is making heavy investment in the region, and now India wants a course correction. How can India-Iran ties be improved now? So, in addition to Iran's Farzad gas field and the Chabahar Zahedan rail project, Iran ties are driven on a third component, this Chabahar port project. Chabahar project ties India and Iran together. It is the symbol of the enduring friendship between India and Iran. Chabahar stands as a strategic gain for India, especially in the light of China's involvement in this Gwadar project. So it was envisioned as a counter to China's Gwadar port. But it should be noted here that when China has invested about $46 billion in the development of the Gwadar port, India only pledged about $500 million towards the development of Chabahar. Today, China has promised to invest further $400 billion in Iran. But both India and Iran stand to gain by coming together. Although Iran has expressed willingness to invite other countries, including China, for its port development, but India is equally important for Iran. Both will gain mutually from each other. India is a large market for Iran, and Iran is India's gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia. But under the US pressure, India must not lose this important friend in the West Asia, in the Persian Gulf region. Both India and Iran stand to gain, and Iran is potentially a regional hub for trade and transit. India needs an immediate course correction and should not let Chabahar slip into Chinese hands. Given the backdrop of Iran's nuclear status and the constant efforts of USA to isolate Iran, its relationship with India are at a juncture where India must tread carefully, keeping safe from international entanglements to serve domestic interests better. As India has learnt the art of dehyphenation, it's time to bring out a consistent and autonomous Iran policy. Thank you.
To have more such discussions and analysis, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notifications on our upcoming videos.